Hey everyone, it's Wednesday and this is my second attempt at filming this vlog. It seems my camera didn't want to play games last time and it was missing a whole chunk of stuff, and then my editing software was just like, no. So let's try this again. I want to chat to you today super quick, well I say super quick, about the Ask the 700 campaign, which I have a little badge for. Look at my little badge. We will be outside of the Apple store from 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock in Glasgow on Buchanan Street. So if you are in Glasgow and available on Saturday afternoon, you should come say hello. If you haven't filled out the consultation, you can fill it in a consultation. We'll have a table with pens, we'll have the printed out consultation. All you need to do is take some time, answer some questions, and then we'll do the rest for you, basically. So yeah, you should definitely come along on Saturday. And hey, if you have the spare time and want to be more active, you can grab some flyers and help hand them out. You can try and take some time to talk to the general public and try and let them know what the consultation is, why we're flyering, why we're trying to get people to respond to it. You can talk to some dancers. There's usually at least one person that's a dancer that comes along. You can talk to other people that are there that are passionate about the project campaign, and you know, just get some chat going. The other thing that I want to talk about today is a little bit of a ramble about sex work, stigma and sex work and all of that jazz. But before we do that, my little umbrella patches, I had some extra, so I've put them up on my Etsy. They're only £1 and £1 shipping if you're outside of the UK, so it's free shipping in the UK. So if you want to grab one or two of those, then you should follow the link in the whatchamacallit. They're super useful for signs or just putting on coats or bags or whatever. But, you know, just mentioning that now. So yeah, let's talk about sex work and why you might be hesitating and coming forward and helping out publicly with a campaign that's all about strip clubs. So, a question I have been asked, or a topic that's been brought up a lot, is how I personally managed to be so comfortable being open about being involved in sex work. Which, my answer is, it's just a job. It's just a thing that I do that pays my bills. And that's kind of the entire point of all sex work sort of campaigns. It's just to point out that it is just another job. We're just making a living. We're like everybody else. Except I have blue hair. But even that's pretty common nowadays, so. But anyways, so an example of stigma, sort of, or an example of the attitude that we're trying to combat. Whilst I was flyering at the Ask 700 campaign last Saturday, a group of young lads walked past me and saw me and then said, "Oh, she's definitely a dancer," laughed to themselves and continued walking. Now, obviously, I'm not offended by someone saying that I'm a dancer or I look like I'm a stripper or whatever, because that's not something that's offensive, really. But it does bring up the point of, if you are someone that's concerned about someone saying you're a stripper or seeing that you're involved in this campaign and thinking, oh, well, you must be involved in sex work then, and maybe being a little uncertain about wanting that sort of thing attached to you, which it's understandable. Not everybody is quite as comfortable with the fact that it is just another job. There is all of the stigma attached to it, and that can be difficult to deal with and process. So I've had friends that have come along and helped out, but have felt a little uncomfortable because they were worried that they were either going to have people assume they were dancers or assume that they were people that visited strip clubs regularly, and that made them like gross or creepy or weird or whatever. Not that it does, just that there's this perception that people have of people that visit strip clubs or work in strip clubs or whatever. So I kind of wanted to talk about that and just sort of say that everyone knows the stigma is there. The only way to get past the stigma is to talk about it, to have open conversations and try and get the information out there. It's not as if this information doesn't exist. It's not as if you can't Google sex work and not get a million hits. It's trying to find the right information from the right people. You don't want to be using a source that's from some conservative, my morals are the only opinion that I listen to type person who doesn't take into account the women that their morals affect. You want to find articles written by people that are either experts on sex work, involved in sex work, or work directly with sex workers, like a sex work charity. You want to find someone or something that's involved with the community. You don't want to find someone that's got a saviour complex that thinks that the way to help women is to ignore them entirely and do the exact opposite of what they want. So, yeah, stigma is hard to get past, and there's a lot of misinformation. There is a little bit of infighting about how things should be done, but that's the case with everything. But generally speaking, you will be able to find that there are key points everyone agrees on. You'll be able to find information regarding pretty much any question you can think of. If you want to know the nitty-gritty, if you want to know the ins and outs of how it all works and what sex workers get up to in a day-to-day working day, maybe ask why you want to know that. Are you just sensationalizing it? Are you getting some sort of titillation from it? Are you enjoying the scandalous taboo? Because that's just kind of gross, man. It's almost like you're fetishizing their job and the stigma that they are facing on a daily basis so that you can get some sort of entertainment out of hearing what they do, really. But if you are genuinely curious and you genuinely have questions that you can't find straight answers to, there are people that will answer them. I will answer questions as best I can. Not every single question ever, because I don't always have the energy to do that. I'm just a person. I don't always have the energy to deal with questions, especially questions of that kind of nature. And I might not always have the answers. I might not know what X, Y, and Z is. I might not know what this person has done or not done or whatever. And I might not always want to answer, because I am an individual. I have my own personal life. I have to protect myself and my loved ones. So if someone is snooping around and asking me questions that are very, very personal, then I'm not gonna answer that. Use some common sense. But yeah, I think it's something that we are working towards dealing with. We're taking baby steps. This campaign is actually a really great way of starting the conversation about sex work with friends, especially mostly if you're Glasgow based, because it's given you the opportunity to bring up, hey, have you heard about this consultation that's going on about all the strip clubs? And they'll be like, what? No, strip clubs? What? Or they'll be like, yes, I have. Here's my opinion on that thing. And then you get the discussion going. So that's been really good. It's been good to be able to have that open conversation with a specific topic, and you can actually have a full-on conversation. You can give facts, you can give links, you can direct them to resources, you can tell them fill in the consultation. And it's a really easy sort of starter point for it. So in a way, this consultation has been really good for raising awareness and getting conversations started. Hopefully, it's going to be really successful and the consultation will come back and they will listen to the 700 and we'll get legislation that actually helps rather than legislation that tries to sweep us under the carpet. But yeah, the other thing with stigma is you have to make an active decision that you're not going to be passive. Because just saying, oh, I don't do anything bad, doesn't make you a good guy. You may not have started the fire, but you certainly didn't do anything to stop the guy with the match. So, you know, pull your friends up if they're saying something that's homophobic or that's not sex work friendly or whatever. Pull them up if they're making jokes that are really insensitive. Pull them up for being racist and homophobic, and don't let your friends be dicks. Challenge them on their behaviours, their attitudes and their speech. It's exhausting doing it all the time, but if you don't at least try, then we're never going to make a difference, really. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I know it's kind of a heavy topic. Well, it's not really heavy, it's a serious topic, but those are important and we have to talk about them sometimes. So yeah, if you are available Saturday, come along outside the Apple Store on Buchanan Street in Glasgow. Be there. You'll get a badge. Who doesn't want a little badge? Badges are great. I love badges. And I'll be updating my OnlyFans very, very soon. So if you are a subscriber there, then I will also have a new set for Patreon really soon. I'm just getting that sorted. I'm a little behind for the Patreon stuff. I'm sorry. And then next week we'll talk about the Fringe. Because I picked up the catalogy thingamabobber. There's so much stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about the Fringe next week. I'm hopefully going to get along to Edinburgh and actually go and see some shows. I'd love to see Netflix again. I saw them last year. They were really funny. They're like an improv musical based on the last movie that one of the audience members watched and the description they give of that movie. It was really quite funny. So yeah, I hope that you are all having a super week, and I hope that the rest of the week is good to you, and I hope that if you are available that I will see you Saturday. So, you know, stay safe and be happy. See you next week. Bye!